Welcome back to the show. My next guest is the brand new CEO of the Youth Services Bureau. I believe she's just been on the job for a couple of days, and she joins us here in studio. Larissa Silver joining us. Welcome, Larissa. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
What a great organization. We're going to talk about that, but my first question to you is, tell us a little bit about your background and what motivated you to take on this role.
Well, I've been in nonprofit and human service work for many, many years, and I've had the privilege of working with a number of amazing organizations. YSB is a special place, and the staff who are so dedicated to the youth and families and children that we serve, it's such a privilege to get to be a part of that. And our mission to impact tomorrow, today, the work that we're doing now with young people will reverberate with them and for them through their lives. I mean,
right.
what a wonderful opportunity. How could I say no?
So this is day what for you?
This is day 3.
Day 3,
yeah.
okay.
So day 4, I expect to change the world with the team, but
Wonderful.
yeah,
Wonderful.
maybe give us another few weeks. But.
Okay, let's talk. But you do know, obviously, you've done your background. You understand the great work, as you just said. Let's talk about some of that great work. And one of the things that stands out for me, we've been talking about it in this community since the last election campaign, the municipal campaign. And that is the housing crisis. Tell me about youth and housing and what that looks like at this time.
Yeah, well, as we know, affordable housing is incredibly difficult to find, and supportive affordable housing is even harder. And so YSB is the largest social service housing provider for youth specifically. We spend a lot of time really trying to make sure that our housing is as accessible and as safe for young people, and our staff work incredibly hard to make that happen. I think that some of the innovative work we've been doing with our tenant committees, where we're really supporting youth to be leaders in their community and build safety and inclusion from their perspective as folks that are living in those buildings, and that peer support element is really making a difference, I think, for young people in terms of how are they feeling about where they're living.
Right.
Yeah.
Another issue that we've talked about even pre-pandemic, and that is mental health. And we know that if we look at universal health care in this country, not a lot of money goes to mental health services, but it's great to have organizations like YSB who provide that. What sort of services do you provide?
Well, significant. We are the largest mental health provider for children and youth outside of CHEO in this region, for sure. And with our mental health walk-in clinics and our ongoing counseling and our crisis line, and in particular, I'm excited about the innovative work that we've been doing as part of the Kids Come First Ontario Health Team with One Call, One Click, which is designed to be a really straightforward access point for families and youth seeking multiple services, so that folks aren't having to call multiple different places, but that one approach that then can wrap around folks is again, I think, making a significant difference in how people access services and knowing where to go.
There are other, programs and services, but I wanted to ask you, I don't want to run out of time before I ask you, what is the top priority for yourself and your team as you see for youth here in our community?
Yeah, it's difficult to say that there is the top priority, right? Because I think in every person's life, that is their priority.
For
and
sure.
and,
an excellent
and
point,
our goal as much as possible is to support folks in having the success in the way that makes sense to them, right? So we really support youth to take the lead in their own care, and we walk along with them as opposed to telling them what to do. And, certainly support for housing is critical, food access, understanding that there is help and there is support available. And so if young people are sitting and thinking, nobody understands, nobody can really be able to reach me where I'm at, picking up the phone and calling or going onto the website, that is a success. That is that first step in success.
Another thing that you focus on is employment, right? It's a big issue. Tell me what you offer to the youth in this community.
Well, our employment services do support the lifespan of employment. So folks that are ready for employment straight through until they're ready to retire. So just to be clear that we do serve a wide variety of folks in our employment services, but we do have a very specific program to support youth who are experiencing some challenges in employment, whether that's employment readiness, whether that's because they perhaps have experience with the justice system that they may feel it means that they're not eligible for employment, our team really supports them in understanding and working with employers to make sure that employment experience is really positive.
Any stories or anecdotes, as you were leading up to take on this role that stands out to you and you said to yourself, wow, there's somebody I want to help?
Well, there's so many. The strength and fortitude of young people is always humbling. I have to say that right off the top. And, given that this is International Pride Month, and of course we celebrate Capital Pride in August, but this is in June, International Pride, it makes me think of one young person who identifies as trans and found themselves without family support. They found our shelter, were supported to be safe and secure in our shelter, and from there supported to move into our social housing building that is designed for young folks who identify as LGBTQ2S. This young person is now living in our building, is working with our employment services on employment, has been going back to school, and has really have been able to take those steps into the healthy adulthood that they would want for themselves. And, how can you not see that story and understand how our staff were wrapping around that young person and not want to make sure that we're there for every young person who needs us?
I just want to remind viewers as well that funding is so incredibly important to YSB. As a matter of fact, I'm actually emceeing an event, Rendezvous, coming up on Thursday that raises funds. But those third-party events are coming back, and YSB is a great option for people. Tell everybody at home how they can help.
Well, first of all, making sure that any young person knows that YSB is available, website, et cetera. But when you are thinking about how and where to donate, or what kind of community do you want to be a part of supporting, and how we move through the world in a sense of safety and inclusion, YSB really is an excellent option to think about those donor support dollars. And
your funds are going, to people, some of the most vulnerable people in our community. Really appreciate the time today. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be right back.